Who said this team couldn't play outdoors? Who said this Jared Goff couldn't throw in the elements? Not us. Not us. No, sir. No, sir. Where's your august majesty now, Lambo? Lions look like they're renting the place on Verbo. Jesus. Look at all this blue out there. You heard the Jared Goff chants. Lions have taken over and once again notch another NFC North win, a huge one. As the Detroit Lions are now 7-1, remain atop the NFC, have shoved off all of their competitors so far in the NFC North, and plenty to talk about in this one, and with a trade deadline coming up. Yes, we will talk about that later on in the show, but welcome in to the Pride of Detroit PODcast, prideofdetroit.com, Pride of Detroit on Twitter, Pride of Detroit on Facebook. You know where to find us because we're always here. We're always ready to fight. We're always ready to square up, knock you down, because I'm Chris Perfett, the adequate host, at Chris Perfett on Twitter. Live right now on twitch.tv/Pride of Detroit, youtube.com/@Pride of Detroit. I'm the adequate host of the PODcast, but I can't do it without the rest of the guys here. Jeremy Reisman, the fearless leader at Detroit Online. Jeremy, this isn't a visual medium, but it is the glorious month of Movember. And that means that Jeremy, as Macho Man Randy Savage, has returned.
All I know is that in the battle of a 6-1 team versus a 6-2 team, the cream rose to the top. And your Detroit Lions are 7-1.
Jared Goff is the cream. Jared Goff is absolutely the cream. He is he has chameleoned himself to blend in with the cream, because that's what this team is. By the way, real quick, before I get to the real important man of the show, for anyone in the Los Angeles area for Sunday Night Football against the Houston Texans, Lions will be playing that. Drugstore Cowboy on Sunset Boulevard. I'll be there. It's a bit of an informal LA meetup. It's more like you'll find me around there in a St. Brown's jersey. Come say hello, and we'll all share some drinks. But very important, and we'll get to more Movember in a second. Ryan Matthews, at Ryan_POD. Daylight savings couldn't keep you down for this one, Ryan.
No, it couldn't. I'm so amped after this game. That was one of the biggest statement wins in this franchise's history.
And I know the final score will be a 10-point victory, but I don't feel like it was close. That was not actually a meager 10-point victory for the Detroit Lions.
No. And it feels like all these statement wins are coming in one place, on Lambeau Field, where they have now won 3 games in a row, a place that for decades was impossible to win at, and the Lions have won. I feel like they've won all 3 games somewhat comfortably. The first one at the end of 2022 was a 1-score game, but they put an end to it with their offense on the field. They get out to that big lead last year, and Green Bay claws their way back, but never too close. And then this game, the Packers had a 3-0 lead, and that was about the only time that game felt close.
The biggest threat to the Lions in this game was the clock.
Yeah.
Like the clock was their biggest enemy starting in, midway through the third quarter after they scored to come out of the half. That was huge.
The clock and apparently unsportsmanlike penalties.
Oh, yeah. There are a few of those. An uncharacteristically undisciplined Dan Campbell football team, I would say.
Yeah.
I guess we can kind of pin it in the secondary too. So,
yeah, I think of the two, I'm a little more upset about the Amik Robertson one. But that's just like you're jawing the entire game. At some point, you're going to get caught for it.
Yeah. Speaking of jawing, let's jaw about how good this game was first before we get into any of that.
No,
stuff.
but I think that's a testament, though, to the Lions, that they're this good, that even though you get Brian Branch taken away and suddenly your DBs who have been pick machines all year long are suddenly fighting with one hand tied behind their back, and you're still comfortably winning this game because you answer with a Kirby Joseph pick 6 before the half, and then you make Jordan Love look like he's making some passes, and some of those like Packers receivers were doing their damnedest to make those passes happen, but you made him look fairly pedestrian in the end, forced him to force balls into odd spots in this game. Like, even without your big weapon, Ryan, without Brian Branch, you're still holding them, and without much of a pass rush right now, you're still keeping them under control.
I mean, I think the biggest takeaway is what you said at the top, Chris. The Lions were supposed to be the sloppy team in the rain. They were supposed to be the team that was going to be affected by the elements. Dan Campbell was ready for this from Jump Street, right, Jeremy? Like he was, I mean, he spoiled the uniform reveal because he was so excited to get those marshmallows dirty at Lambeau. But that's my big takeaway. Three fumbles from Jordan Love. I lost track at how many drops they had. 6, 7, a surefire touchdown in the end zone. But, on first bite, Dusty let us know that Dontavian Wicks's hands are not the most reliable. There was a lot of that in this game. It was penalties. It was, a lot of the miscues and the mistakes that would always make Lambeau a house of horrors for Lions fans.
Right.
It was completely flipped, Jeremy. 4-0 on the road this year. You win 2 games against arguably your toughest 2 opponents in the NFC North on the road.
Not arguably. Let's be honest. Not arguably. We saw anyone who saw the Bears today. Not arguably.
Yeah, the Bears are going nowhere.
I think God tried to punish that game by putting hail on the field, but I don't know.
But no, the roof open.
You're absolutely right though. Like,
very carefully.
This was very much a bizarro world kind of game, and further proof that the Lions are on the other end of things, and the same old Lions is dead, because that looked like the Lions were the home team that has been battle tested against bad conditions and tough field stuff. And the fact that the Packers were not only fumbling the ball, dropping passes, but the pre-snap penalties. It was like false start. Is the Lions crowd too loud over there? Did your gold package members sell tickets all over again this year? What's happening there? And y'all heard the Jared Goff chants. Y'all heard the cheering. I'm not saying that was, that the Lions had 50% of the fans in there. It was probably not even close to that, but that just, to me, it feels like the Lions are such a well-polished team that, it wasn't the best skill day, right? Jared Goff, won 18 of 22, but 145 yards, 6.6 yards per attempt. He wasn't tearing apart this Packers defense. The Lions running game finishes 3-9 a carry. To be fair, that looks a little bad because of 2 kneel downs and a negative 12-yard Khalif Raymond run. The running backs 4.9 yards a carry combined, so they were fine. But they didn't score much in the second half, right? 7 points for the Lions in the second half. They just kind of coasted to a victory because they were playing clean football while the Packers were just tripping over themselves pretty much from start to finish.
Handing the ball to Kirby Joseph to run into the end zone. That was, probably the biggest turning point in the game, right? That play doesn't happen, and it's not, 14-3 before half where the Lions are going to get the ball, because remember what happened at the beginning of this game? Packers won the toss and they wanted the ball, right?
Yeah.
Yep. But Packers didn't find the end zone until the fourth quarter. Until the dying minutes of the fourth quarter, really. I know the stat lines are going to say Jordan Love had 270 yards of offense, and Josh Jacobs had almost 100 yards himself, but
we should talk about that a little bit more, but yeah.
But also the final tally is 14 points
right
at the end.
It's a second straight game in which they've been blown out in terms of yardage, but that hasn't really told the full story. Because the Lions, here's the thing. The Lions have been so good in situational football. I think that's the part of this game and a lot of these other games that goes overlooked. They're good on third down, both offensively and defensively. They're good in the red zone, both offensively and defensively. Packers were 0 for 3 in the red zone up until that very last drive at the end of the game where they punched it in, and really that only happens because of the Meek Robertson penalty. So, that's the stuff that doesn't show up on traditional stat box scores. But that's the difference between being a good team and a great team, and the Lions are a great freaking football team.
No, speaking Macho Man, you're somebody who knows something about spots, and another spot in this game, 4th and 1. Lions get a big stop to get the ball back and to bleed more clock. Didn't work out that great, but nonetheless, they made so many plays in so many spots. The Jared Goff throw to Amon-Ra St. Brown for that touchdown was one of the best throws I've ever seen Jared Goff make.
Fourth down.
Fourth
And
down, there was no way that Nixon could make a play on that ball. He was right on Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chris, and it was an absolute dot.
coming into this game, there was so much chatter about Jared Goff, and we mentioned up the top, Jared Goff and the elements, right? Like the Lions are an indoor team and all that nonsense and everything else. Jared Goff, 18 of 22, and really like I think one of those was a spike, one of those was him giving up on a play because he saw the pass rush not get picked up off his blind side and just quickly just threw it to the side. So really, if we want to take those two off, like 18 of 20 in the rain, like I don't know what else I need to say while still averaging about 6.6 yards a pass and a touchdown. Like
and
what
and
else?
getting everybody involved. Allen Robinson had a huge
Allen
third down grab for a first
It's
down.
Yeah.
2024 and Tim Patrick and Allen Robinson are on your box score.
They were out there on the field at the same time. They had some three wide receiver sets with those two and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I was like, oh, you're running the football.
So what you guys are saying is Jamo who? Is that what you're saying?
That's an interesting way to twist my words into a pretzel.
That's a little.
But
little.
I think this all speaks to just like Jared Goff playing good, safe, sound football, and that's not easy to do in the elements, right? But I think that has been kind of the quality that he's had really since the first two games of the season, right? The first two games of the season were a little sloppy. He was maybe forcing some balls that he shouldn't have into tight windows, but none of that is happening now. He's taking what the defense is giving him, and it's not glorious, it's not glamorous, it's not, Drake May making some sort of crazy play at the end of the Patriots game. It's just really sound, and I don't even want to say dink and dunk football because he's throwing some of these passes downfield. Not a ton today, but in general, like he's just playing such sound, impressive football that it looks boring. It looks unimpressive, but people don't understand how impressive it is that he's reading the field correctly. He's staying poised when pressure is coming. I thought the offensive line was pretty damn good in terms of keeping players off him. I know he had one sack today, so that's a pretty good effort. But I don't know. The box score doesn't look like it, but this was just another phenomenal game, I thought, for Jared Goff.
I'd have to see his depth of target, but I'm sure, he found Sam Laporta. I think that was a 19. His long was like a 19-yard. St. Brown had a 26.
Yeah.
Again, some of that's yak, but he's still forcing the ball downfield. Like late game, what was it? The St. Brown catch to ice it, or was that Montgomery? I'm a little spastic
I think it was
right
St.
now.
Brown.
Yeah, either way.
Montgomery put it away on the ground.
Sure. But either way, Goff is running this team very well in these conditions. I don't know what else he really needs to do. And this week I heard Charles Barkley, of all people, saying that if he had a vote, he would give the MVP to Jared Goff. And not sure why he's not getting any respect. I don't know what else to do.
We have a Charles Barkley opinion thrown in this podcast.
I was just running to work and I heard him on the radio with Dan Patrick, and I was just like, holy God, Chuck's out here and he's stumping for Jared Goff. What year is it? What reality am I living in? That's the state of the Lions right now, Ryan Matthews. Everyone wants to watch this team. Everyone is impressed by what this team is doing. And I think sometimes as fans, sometimes we get caught up in the minutia and the ghosts of watching the Packers, and we have to realize, this wasn't close at all, ever. Even with the serious flaws that are right now going on. And I don't even think the run defense was great in this game at all. Certainly not their usual run defense. It still didn't matter at the end of the day because they find ways to win, and they win in situational football, and they win in those ways in superiority. Uncompromising. This isn't just pulling a last minute out of their ass kind of deal.
Yeah, they won this football game start to finish, and I don't know how, but they keep on just stacking wins that make me want to say that's the most impressive win of the season. That's the most that's the most impressive win of the season.
Keeps happening.
It's a good thing that keeps happening. I think, Jeremy, to your point, I think the one sack that was given up was a super uncharacteristic sack from Penei Sewell that he gave up. I thought Taylor Decker looked maybe at his best in this game, which I know a lot of fans were kind of worried about him and some of his issues in pass pro. But
what happened on that sack? Because I think I saw like Kevin Zeitler got slipped up and like took out a couple guys as well. Like, what'd you see on that, Ryan? Because that was a little.
Go ahead,
I don't,
Jimmy.
Go,
it was
Jeremy.
hard to tell, but it's possible that their legs got tangled up. But I think Panay just, I mean, he got overpowered. It happened.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, it can happen to golden gods every now and then too.
But then later in the game was when Ben Sewell moved the entire right side of the Packers defensive line, like
For the-
three guys.
for the Gibbs
The
touchdown
Gibbs run.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Gibbs touchdown run was the icing on the cake because I thought
Fourth
for a
down
second,
again, by the way.
yes, a fourth down play. Also, the Packers, it looked like they like thought they heard a whistle or something with how like they just didn't make a play, and before you knew it, Gibbs was in the end zone.
Yeah.
It was an awesome stat to see too. Did you see it on the broadcast about his speed when he
Across the line
gets
of
to the line of
scrimmage.
scrimmage? It's like
Yeah.
11.1 miles an hour, and the league average is like 9.9. It's like, oh, that's a difference. Yeah.
Did you see who failed to close that gap, Ryan, on the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown run?
Could it have been Quay Walker?
Close.
Okay.
Xavier McKinney. You know, the guy who was like, why the Lions are embarrassing teams.
Well.
Didn't get there.
Looks
We
like
don't
someone
take
got
kindly
got.
to that. Oh, well, try and stop us.
Try and stop us is the motto of this Lions team right now. Try and stop us from shilling you this righteous felon craft jerky and meat sticks because it's the meat that fuels your Detroit Lions POD cast. 16 to 20 grams of protein in each 2-ounce bag of jerky. Meat sticks with 8 grams of protein. Trust me, if it's good enough for us, we love this stuff. It'll be good enough for you too. You could even say it's adequate. Righteous Felon is based in Westchester, Pennsylvania, using locally sourced all-natural Black Angus beef. They pride themselves on superior quality, revolutionary branding, unique flavors that go beyond the stereotypical jerky offering. Listen, you're going to have a lot of relatives over for Thanksgiving. Have some extra turkey in your back pocket. Ryan's favorite, the Foul Capone. Turkey jerky. You might be thinking, oh, turkey jerky. That stuff, that's lame. Who likes that? Ryan, it's seriously good turkey jerky.
Put basil on it. Change your
Basil,
life.
cracked black pepper. It tastes amazing. You'll love it. You'll love it, and we're going to help you love it with 15% off. POD15 at checkout gets you 15% off your order. Go to righteousfelon.com. Use the promo code POD15. It is also Movember. So before we go to break, Jeremy, let's talk a little bit about Movember.
Yes.
Because the mustaches are coming back. We've got another great partner once again this year for the Movember charity drive. With the last year we raised $41,000. And this year we are partnered with the University of Michigan Health Rogel Cancer Center. Once again, raising money for cancer research, for Men's Cancer Research Fund.
Yeah, the Rogel Cancer Center has been around since I think the 1980s. It's a really cool institution. I'm going to visit it very soon, but cancer treatment is something that's very close to me. I know it's something that's close to Ryan as well. Both of our dads have fought cancer. Mine fought for 15 years from when I was a sophomore in high school until 2016. So pretty incredible fight, and that doesn't happen without cutting edge technology, people funding treatment centers like the Rogel Cancer Center. And so we're going to raise money for them. So if you are interested in helping out, we're going to be giving away prizes all month. We're going to be trying to raise money. There's going to be an auction that happens relatively soon that includes some signed merch. So go to pridedetroit.com. Just look for our logo with the mustache right out there on the front page, or join us for these live streams because it gets a little wacky when we raise money and write stuff on our face and eat gross stuff. So there are a bunch of cool things that are on the way all month, and we might have a surprise or two at the end of the month as well. So please be on the lookout for that. Please help out if you can. And if you don't have the disposable income to help out, awareness is important too. Share our stream, share our charity drive. If this is something that means something to you, share it with your friends.
We've got plenty of events coming up as well. Saturday, November 9th on twitch.tv/Pride Detroit and youtube.com.
Yeah.
Yep. This coming Saturday will be a karaoke stream. The next Saturday, we've got a Hot Ones stream. If you ever watched the show from, what was it, First We Feast? Hot Ones, where celebrities sit down and eat incredibly spicy wings while answering questions. The POD staff will be doing that. We'll be putting our butts on the line to eat a lot of fire. Coming up at some point We're going to have a full overalls Lions podcast. I have a cooking stream that I've promised all of you, and you will be getting an insight to my kitchen, and we'll make some fine hot cuisine. Or should I say it as haut, if I'm keeping up my bad pronunciation of spelling. Jeremy's going to go grocery shopping in yoga pants, and at some point, polar plunge.
I bought the yoga pants, and I've worn them, and how have I lived
That's horrifying.
38 years of my life without wearing yoga pants? They're amazing.
Stop right now. We're going to go to break right now. When we come back, there was some stuff to get into, including a very controversial ejection and many more. And we're getting close to the trade deadline. So, yes, there was some juicy rumors out. And fingers crossed, we've got about 70 hours to go before the trade deadline. We'll talk about it all coming up on the rest of the POD cast. Hi, chat.
All right, we got a bunch of alerts to get to. Most of them on Twitch's end, which I'm going to shame you guys. Stop subbing to us on Twitch and start using that money instead to donate to the Rogal Cancer Center. ! Donate or ! Movember will get you links. We don't want your subs. Get your subs out of here.
Unless they're free Prime subs. We'll take money from Bezos any day of the week.
That's true.
So will I.
Yes.
Yeah.
But let me get through a ton of Twitch alerts. We do have at least one donation as well. I'll get to that. And some donations that happened in between streams as well. So let me take a big breath and get through all these. Okay, here we go.
I'm going to
Angus
go feed Ruby
Osborne.
real quick while you do that.
Angus Osborne, thank you for subscribing on YouTube. I'll just call you Lib. Thank you for following on Twitch. No Decaf, thank you for a raid of 59 people. Mgo Korg, 42 month subscribe channel, says FTP, throws an FTP in the chat. B Jesus, thank you for the 20 months, says, also throws an FTP in the chat. Kyle Sleeps, 35 months, says Jared Goff is elite in the elements. Too bad soft love can't handle the rain. How long until that narrative develops? I mean, he's a young player. We'll see.
I didn't even get a chance to get off my take, so I'll wait until the second segment. That game could have been a lot different if there was another quarterback under center.
Oh, no. Get out of here. All right. Silver Rush, 24. Thank you for the 18 months on Happy Movember. Austin Mammoth, 26 months, says Movember starting off right. F the Packers. Key Rock. Oh, what happened? Key Rock, there we go. 19 months subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. Herculins, 21 months, says new majority owner of Lambeau, the Detroit Lions. Let's buy some shares, guys. Gamer Terry, thank you for the follow. Robo, thank you for the 36 months, 3 years, says they can't beat us, so they tried to cheat us. Ice Cecil, 38 months, says NFL took away the Lions' best defensive player and still couldn't do enough to give the Packers a win. Sub with Prime, not using Movember money for sub. Appreciate that, Ice Cecil. RGA, 25 months, says go Loins. Joshua Mercer, 100 bits, says whoop that ass, baby. And then threw a bunch of FTPs in the chat. Jay Garcia, 15. Guys, stop subscribing. 15 months subscribed to the channel. Says Zadarius Smith to the Lions. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Crook, FTW, 48 months. That's 4 freaking years subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. Boozenbub, 24 months subscribed to the channel. Says Kings of the North stay on top. Green Bay sucks. And I like how you didn't put the space in between Green and Bay, just like Amon-Ra's shirt didn't. I think that's how we have to refer to them continually, because I saw that Packers fans were very mad about that. Like, oh, he doesn't even know that Green Bay's 2 words. They're like, I bet he knows and he didn't give a shit. Like, that's I bet what happened.
It's a lot like your trash that you eventually take out to the side of the road and then it goes to a dump. Like, the landfill exists somewhere, right? Like, but you don't care. Is landfill one word? I don't know. Who cares? Jam them together.
Joshua Mercer, 100 bits, says, oh shit, can we give some props for the Amon-Ra TD, Sally? We should. I'll be honest. I have no idea what it's referencing, but it looks cool as hell. So I'm in.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
I'm also in on John Whitaker putting together 2 straight Amon-Ra's, one standing straight up, one laying down, and giving the L to Green Bay. Clever.
So apparently this happened a day ago at Incarnate Word.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's that? College football's not real.
Oh, the fake flea flicker?
No, the
celebration,
Amon-Ra
the Amon-Ra celebration.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he got flagged for that. But yeah,
Why?
two FCS schools. But yeah, so I mean that's recent because there was I think Drake London did the Selly too today.
He did,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have had requests to turn that into an emoji or a sticker for the POD Discord. Also,
you should.
Brian Branch's Double Birds, which has kicked off a real big question about, do you like doing double birds with thumbs out or thumbs in? I've always had thumbs in. I didn't realize like thumbs out is like a big thing.
Ooh, I kind of like thumbs out. I like the
Dude.
aesthetics of thumbs out.
I thumbs in just feels like a proper, you just getting
No,
this.
like
Yeah.
this is too tight. Like this is like I don't like. I feel like when you're doing
But
the
this
thumbs
is
out,
me
you have to
making
go
a
sideways
fist.
a little bit.
But see, that just kind of looks like a hang loose or something. Like, I don't know.
I will 100% say that if you were a kid who lived in Michigan and grew up in the same space that also included Eminem flipping people off, like
Thumbs out.
it
was
was
thumbs
always
out?
the thumb out. Like
Yeah.
that's the way that it looked cool. Because like to Jeremy's point, like you're supposed to be flippant, right? Like you're supposed to be like, I don't care. Like I'm so lazy. Like I'm not even, I'm just kind of throwing it at you kind of thing.
You know what? Why not have the pinkies out too?
Now you
All
look more.
hands. Ah,
Now you look more like.
I'm not
Bob.
sure you're giving the finger if three fingers are up. It's no longer giving the finger. It's giving the fingers.
Yeah. Thumbs half bent. Interesting.
Everybody's gonna have a take on this, which I'm
I'm all for.
good.
All right, let me get. We're not even halfway. So let me get
gosh.
through these. Key Rock, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the channel. Appreciate you. Joshua Mercer, 100 bits says, "Oh shit, can we offer some prop?" Oh, you already read that one. Whoops. HSW, thank you for the 3-month subscribe to the channel. Says free Branch, free Jamo. JWSCF, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Roaring Lion Detroit, 9-month subscribe to the channel. Throws an FTP in the chat. Youper, 16 months. Healthy Sweater, 40 months subscribe to the channel. Says FTP. Dark Ample, 16 months. Says same old lines is eventually going to mean another 10-point win.
Same
We're
old
getting
Lions means we crush another football team.
Means another locker room is complaining about us embarrassing opponents. El Gato Diablo, 24 months subscribe to the channel. Says Ford Field West is a great place to play. Cellaring Scott, thank you for the 10 months. Says the Panay Balak was bananas. Sure was. Amnam, 22 months, says that's almost as old as Ryan.
What?
Oh, I miss the Ryan is a baby jokes.
Dude, I miss him too.
It's a little less effective when you have 3 kids.
I know, right?
Our collective 0.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that ages you.
Yeah.
Being eternal bachelors, there is a point where eternal bachelorism does age you a little bit faster than being
Maybe.
a proper family man.
I just know that half the country hates me for being a bachelor with no kids. Anyways,
gosh.
speaking of Ryan, Slyastry, 34 months subscribed to the channel, says, sweet. Is that how you wanted it pronounced? How did you want it pronounced?
No, that's
Iwan Cartman.
That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't even know I wanted it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
K Fletch, 14 months, says 1 month for each of the Lions. For each win the Lions have by San Fran when we have the 1 seed clinched. For each win the Lions have by the San Francisco game when we have the 1 seed clinched. That'd be fun. Mike Lang, 12 months subscribed to the channel. Junk Trunk, 29 months, throws an FTP. Jay Reverie, 22 months, throws an FTP. Rye is a Beast, $2 super chat on YouTube, says Curb got that pick for BB, donating next stream. Appreciate that. Detroit gifts 5 subs? 6 subs? 7?
10.
10 subs.
He gifted 10.
That
He
makes
gifted
sense.
10.
10 subs. Okay, so that's why those alerts kept coming in. And then J Pook gifted a sub as well, and Pete subscribed on YouTube. All right, now let's get to Movember donations because we got a few there.
Oh my God.
Off stream, Len gave a $40 donation, says you guys do a great job and hope you reach your donation goal. Love Pride of Detroit. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Christopher S., a $50 donation off stream, says love the work you guys do at POD. If it helps this Detroiter transplanted to New England, fully enjoy the wonder of this Lions era. Wish my own dad was around to see this. He died in 2020. Would have loved to see the Campbell era.
Oh, by
Right
the way,
there
we
with
have a $2 super chat from YouTube as well.
I already said that one.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yep.
I'm
for
used to you just
people.
not seeing those. My bad.
Nope, they're all in my event thing now, so I'm not going to miss those. Caleb, $25 donation, says FTP and F cancer, go Loins, baby. Dan Cramble is rugged, handsome, and kicks that pretty boy's ass. I love that. Thank you, Caleb. Phil,
What was he doing burning
donation.
timeouts? What the fuck was LaFleur doing with some of those? Like, he burned that timeout to run that like play that got stuffed on the goal line.
They got the
What you doing over there, big guy? Where's your genius?
$25 donation from Phil says go Lions and fuck cancer. And Nap Dance Queen, maybe my favorite of the donator names here. $50 donation says let's go Movember. By the way, as a reminder, your donations can make us do things. So like one of those $25 donations could have had us write something on our face. I prefer you to write those in on the little note with your donation. You can also write, a heartfelt note, and then like also, by the way, write this on your face, Jeremy. So every $25 donation, one of us will write something on our face. A $50 donation will I've decided we're not just going to do ASMR voice. You can also still mute us for 1 minute. So if you donate $50, we'll either request any of us to either do an ASMR voice, which is basically just whispering, or mute us for a full minute.
Watch Sunday Night Football.
Exactly.
Watch the Minnesota Vikings.
It kind of makes my skin crawl. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the point of ASMR.
I know, but not in a like pleasurable way like some people get it.
Also, you said smash eggs, right?
That is that's a $300 donation.
$300 one. And you can also write something on, Ryan's got the famous whiteboard there.
Yes.
And we can fill it up like Bart Simpson.
He will Bart Simpson it up for a $250 donation for any phrase of your choosing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Has to pass the filter.
You have to realize he's also streaming from a school, so.
Yeah, like it's got to pass the sniff test, folks.
Yeah.
What, are you not going to erase it when you're done?
I will, but there's also video evidence of this happening.
Yes.
I think like a teacher,
Big Z Dubs, 17 months subscribed to the channel, says FTP. And your boy Maroc, 30 months subscribed to the channel as well. And we are, I believe, caught up to everything.
Oh my God.
I know, unfortunately, the donation alerts are not going off. I'm going to talk with my contact at Donor Drive and hopefully get that fixed. But those will happen, I promise.
Cool.
Wally, $25 donation just came in, says FTP.
Hell yeah. A lot of FTP today, which always feels very cathartic. These two teams really do not like each other at this point, and it's very fun to watch. I actually got asked at work today, like, power rank all the NFC North teams and how much you hate them. Some people thought I hated the Bears the least, but that's just because I feel like Vikings fans have been jawing off the most lately, but I don't know. I think most people still hate the Packers the most.
I think so.
We had this discussion on Thursday.
I have a soft spot for hating the Bears because it's unearned, but also at this time, the Packers championship's almost 20 years old now.
Yeah.
I think the Packers, I think the Bears are last because they're still like, give them little noogies. Oh, you guys think you're good. It's very cute.
Oh man, this is how people talked about Lions teams.
I know. But listen,
I know.
We took the abuse for three decades. Now we can dish a little bit.
Yeah.
Shout out to my friend Jonas Knox, who will be coming on at some point for the purview to shit on the Bears. But that Xavier McKinney quote, he got a hands of that, and he was like, "You guys have been embarrassing the Lions for 40 years. This is how it feels."
Right.
Like, I got no sympathy for you.
Yeah. And my take is that it's Minnesota fans because of what the Twins did, crapping down their leg, and the Tigers taking their playoff spot. So
Daily Norseman needs to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for a Joe Flacco win tonight. That'd be sick.
I know. Some elite,
I'm kind of upset we're missing the game right now, but
I've got it on the other. Yeah, I've got it on the other screen. Very interesting day across the board.
It would. I
yeah,
mean,
like
it'd be amazing if the Lions won today and the rest of the NFC North lost. Like for the way the first 2 months of the season have played out, if they can get a one game on every single team in 1 week, not to mention a division win.
Well,
Darnold just threw a
especially
terrible pick.
you're about to hit your 3-game with the AFC South slam, and the Colts. I don't think Flacco's carving up this team. The Jaguars look bad, look really bad. Somehow
Yeah.
came
Sorry.
back and then gagged it away again against the Eagles.
Yeah, which Saquon Barkley made a play I've never seen before in a football
Obscene.
game.
And the Devonta Smith catch. So, okay, Devonta Smith or Garrett Wilson?
Garrett Wilson. My
didn't
God,
see the
Garrett
Is
Wilson.
that
Smith one.
Garrett Wilson or OBJ?
OBJ.
Thank you. A lot
Like-
of people saying that's better than OBJ, but nothing's going to top the OBJ catch.
Prisoners of the moment. You're fat on candy. It's Halloween night. You're feeling good. No, like my first thought was if Garrett Wilson did get in bounds, because you know how they initially ruled him out, I was like, that's the catch of the year if they overturn it. And it might be the greatest catch ever. Like that might be better than the Odell catch. And then they showed the Odell catch while they were reviewing it. And I was like, no way, it's the Odell catch. It's always been the Odell catch.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're not going to wake up tomorrow and start calling it a Garrett Wilson catch. We're going to keep calling a one-handed like that an OBJ catch until the end of time.
Yeah.
That's
Man.
my argument. It's meme status.
Still, I mean, an incredible play. My goodness.
Speaking of that, my where I went to junior high in Toledo, I didn't go there for high school, but my sisters did. Actually showed up in SportsCenter's top 10 on Saturday morning. With
Nice.
a one-handed tip and then one-handed interception catch. Guy tipped it with one hand. There was a deep pass, tipped it with one hand, then hauled it in with one hand, and managed to stay in bounds.
The one-handed catch is always impressive. What's
Yes.
even more impressive is watching Jeremy try to
I got
season off.
I got to create a lot of real space here because we got a 25 donation from Ken Fletcher who says, "Hard not to be touched by cancer in some way by cancer. Lost both my grandpas to cancer and miss them every day. Knowing your work may impact someone down the road is pretty amazing. Thank you guys for all the awesome work all month. Also, you guys pick, but someone gets to write Ben Jarvis Green Ellis on her forehead."
Oh man, the law firm.
Do we each write part of it on our head? No, I'll try to do it. The problem is my camera is mirrored, so this is going to be very difficult.
By the way, for those asking, in Toledo, it was Ottawa Hills High School was the one with the play. So I went to them for like junior high. Yeah.
I only have a dry erase marker. I don't think that's gonna work.
I can't do this reversed. I just can't. Like I need. Hold on. The stream's gonna look weird for a second, but I gotta set my camera back. Big me. Video capture. Transform. Flip horizontal. There we go. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's just erase that. All right. You guys can talk now.
I feel like maybe we've talked about this at some point, but isn't it so strange how, you know, like the Vikings play the Colts tonight and they play three straight AFC South teams. The Lions will have their AFC South schedule played in like 4 or 5 weeks, right?
Lions are playing. No, Lions are. Yeah. Like, I hate how backloaded the NFC North is. I think we talked about it last week, but like the Falcons and Saints have both played each other twice already.
Yeah, like they had already played like half their divisional games. Yeah, so you know, playing the Titans last week, then the Packers. Now they play the Texans, Jaguars, and Colts.
Yep.
So I mean, they get it done 4 or 5 weeks. So
And I think these wins are also doubly important because the thing with that Colts game is that starts 3 games in 11 days.
yeah,
That's not fun.
no, it is not.
Not my best work.
And also, like,
And 2 of those are division games.
who said? I'm pretty sure it might have been Jeremy in Slack, but like, I just never judge a football team based on how they play on Thursdays. Like,
Yeah, I think I tweeted that out, but yeah.
yeah,
That said, the Jets are garbage.
When are we gonna learn to carry the ball all the way over the goal line? When are we gonna learn?
I
I feel bad because
I'm
it was
not
a
sure why that
rookie,
keeps
but like
happening.
it's very funny still.
Don't care. It's no
don't.
different in any other league. You
How
have to
does every
cross the goal line with the ball. Like
Fair point.
I feel
every
zero sympathy for the kid. Everybody's like, "Oh man, I feel real bad for him." I'm like,
every wide receiver, top to bottom, has to teach that. Has to teach. Hold on to the ball. Stop doing that celebration. And somehow it just every 3 years or so we get a Deshaun Jackson.
but Kyle Pitts did it the week before.
Wait, really?
Just
Yes.
do a Barry Sanders. Find the ref, hand him the ball, then you celebrate. Like, I'm not saying don't celebrate, but like, you're not gonna do that every single time if you just find the official. Whoa. Okay, hold on. This is a crazy stat.
What's that?
Jared Goff has completed his last 30 passes targeting Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Ah, I saw that on the broadcast. I was wondering what the number was.
What?
30? Yeah.
30.
Yeah,
30
yeah.
straight completions
30 what?
when targeting Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And
That's
that's even
insanity.
more impressive because of that one catch you made in the game where it was like Jared Goff didn't need to throw that ball. It was in double coverage over the middle of the field. And
Yeah.
Amon-Ra
On a
still
third,
came up with it.
yeah, like a 3rd and 8 and he got 7.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, there were really
30
really clean game. Really clean game from
That
Goff.
that feel like it can't even be right. That's insane. 30 straight targets, all 30 completed. I still can't wrap
merchant.
my head around that. Slot merchant. Oh man.
Not that impressive because he plays in the slot.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay, I was gonna get
Jeremy,
direct back into it, but go ahead.
I just wanted to, the last thing that I loved from today. Did you see Dak caught on the sideline?
No.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What happened there? What did I miss, Ryan? What is this? Because I've got a Jerry Jones thing to add to it, but go on. Please.
I'm copying, pasting, and sending it to you in Slack because I want to see your reaction.
Well, I think Chet may have just spoiled it.
Did they put it in there?
They put 3 words in there. Is it 3 words long?
Yep. And there's some video for you guys in Slack if you want to share this with the class because Stephen A. Smith quote tweeted this and was having a field day with it.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
All right, let's go desktop. Let's just show it to everybody.
It's real short.
It's very clear.
Like
too.
that's
Very clear. There's no doubt what he said at all.
you don't
I
need
can't
to be
read
a lip
lips.
reader.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is very funny because Jerry then after that game is going out there and like capering about and acting coy like, oh, we could be buyers at the deadline. No, you're not. No, you're not.
People say
Buyers at the deadline.
that the league is better when the Cowboys are good. I strongly disagree.
This is like
mwah.
do you
I
remember
can eat this up.
the year let me tell you something. The year the Jets sucked with Mark Sanchez, butt fumble and everything, and Fireman Ed getting bullied out of the stadium. That year that they started with Tim Tebow, the sideshow of Tim Tebow in training camp. That was a fucking great year. Coming off the AFC Championship and appearance and everything, like that was a great year. Watching the Jets eating shit every week.
I mean, if you enjoy the Jets eating shit every year, I feel like the last 15 years have been great for you.
But I'm saying like that was the first one where the Jets really came down to earth. That was like 2012, 2013 where the Jets like had some success and everyone was gearing up and here come the Jets. Let's talk about the Jets. Then the Team Tebow circus, and after all that it was
You know what I saw the other day? I saw a picture of Tebow. Remember when he got hazed and he had to cut his hair into what looked like a fryer. Like he just had like the ring of hair where he's like
Oh,
had to shave like the top of his head. Like I hadn't thought about that in forever, right? Like it was so long ago, and I saw that picture and I was like, I remember that.
good times.
Great times.
And the
All right.
Coach Prime countdown to Dallas is on. Oh God, that's going to be even worse. They're going to bomb so hard.
So I think we're gonna go 3 segments here because we want to talk a little Jamo, we want to talk a little trade deadline.
Yeah.
So I think that means we should get back into the second segment.
Yes,
now.
and I think we should do some of the breakdowns on this one of Brian Branch, some penalties, and some performances, which will then dovetail into talking about in third segment the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And Jamison Williams.
Yep, I'm in.
Okay.
All right, good to go.
Where's my phone? My phone's almost dead, but I need to get the timer going. Pride of Detroit PODcast back again. Once again, Movember is on. Once again, Sunday night, you can find me at Drugstore Cowboy in Los Angeles on Sunset Boulevard. We will watch Sunday Night Football together if you show up there. I will endeavor to make it happen. It's nothing formal, not like some of the meetings we've been having in Detroit. Just throwing that out there to anyone listening in the ether. Let's talk about some of the nitty-gritty from this game, some individual performances, but we're going to actually start by talking about my least favorite conversation, which is officiating. Officials, yay! Blake,
Clete Blakeman.
I can't say his name. It won't come out. This is like the unspeakable. Blakeman.
Don't say it 3 times. He'll show up.
Yeah.
And throw a flag.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. There was a lot of hullaboo about his crew coming up here. I honestly didn't think it was too terrible, but the Brian Branch thing was not something that. Look, this is going to be a really tough one to really digest because, on one hand, I agree that you have to throw a flag on that play. That is targeting. That is textbook targeting. It borders on flagrant. I don't know if I agree with it, and I certainly don't like the idea of New York getting involved to then immediately up that to an ejection. It was a little much, I found, and I also found that it just when Lions fans try to talk about the officials against them and about the curse at Lambeau and everything, it gets a little much. Most people outside of Detroit see that and it's like, all right, settle down. But the fact that New York called it in to throw him out was just like, oh my God. And then they threw an unsportsmanlike on him afterwards, which granted, after I saw what he actually did, kind of justified.
Thumbs out.
Double birds, thumbs out. Are you a thumbs out or thumbs in? Let us know at Pride of Detroit. Yeah, Jeremy, how do we break this down? Because again, my opinion is, I did not like the idea of the ejection. And I'm just never going to like the idea of the ejection.
And I get that. In a bang bang play, it's hard, right? It's hard to know.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's bang bang. You're right.
The one thing that we should make clear here is that intention is not part of this. Whether calling this dirty or saying he intentionally was trying to target, like, first of all, that has no bearing on this. Because first of all, New York can't call in and say, well, he was clearly headhunting. He was trying to do that. Like, they can't view that on replay. That is not why he got thrown out of the game. And I'm not interested in having a conversation about whether Brian Branch is dirty for this because, again, intention is very hard to ascertain from a bang bang play like that. That being said, I don't have a problem with this. I'm sorry. Lions fans were killing me on Twitter, and I'm sorry. Like, that is exactly what the NFL wants out of this game. It was extra. The ball was gone. He didn't catch it, and he went straight helmet to helmet. Like, that is one of the plays, probably the biggest play that this league wants out of the game. And I understand it's hard, and I understand it's bang bang, and I understand it's really freaking hard to play defense in this league. But there are no excuses for what Brian Branch did. And The reason why I think I can tell it was blatant is because I haven't seen a single Lions fan complain about the call of it just being a penalty. If you can get all Lions fans to agree that they committed a penalty, every single one of them, probably pretty blatant. So, listen, it sucked. You hate to see it to a guy who has no rap, and like, he's not going to get suspended for this because he doesn't have a rap sheet on it. Like, this is an isolated incident, but I'm sorry, like, if this league is serious about getting those plays out of the game, those are the kind of things that have to happen. And I've seen a lot of people say, like, well, what about this hit? Well, what about this hit? Yeah, there are probably other plays that also deserve to be ejected. They do. I'm talking about this specific one. I'm not comparing it to any other ones. I'm talking about how this one should have been enforced, and I don't have a problem with the way it was enforced. I don't.
I think hearing Dane Blandino later on bring up the fact that the reason why New York made the call was because they felt that Branch had an opportunity to pull up. I thought this play was so bang bang that I don't think that he had the time to do that. I think you can see that in slow motion. I think that you create time for yourself in slow motion. I don't think that in the heat of the moment in that play, I don't think Brian Branch had time to quote unquote pull up. And the thing that's kind of frustrating about it, I think, is that Brian Branch he has been able to pull up on plays, because I remember there was the Sam Darnold play where Sam Darnold slid and Brian Branch did his best to get out of Sam Darnold's way, and there was no flag thrown on that play. I think the thing that's probably the most, I don't even want to say it's concerning, but the guy got really emotional and he had a blow up, and he made some poor mistakes after that, and I think that kind of dovetails into the Amik Robertson stuff. But the last point I have is just that, like, if the league office is calling in from New York saying, "Oh, you know what? He had time to pull up, and this is the play where you're supposed to pull up." I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, so they had a interview with Rob Domofsky asked Perry Fuel, the senior vice president of officiating, said it wasn't automatic. We reviewed all the angles. We clearly felt he had time and space to make a different choice as the act was a flagrant foul, and he clearly had the opportunity to avoid the head and neck area. Look, you brought up the other hits that happened today, Jeremy, and that's kind of where I guess a lot of my frustration comes from, that those aren't ejection, or New York's not looking as closely at that because this isn't the Fox game of the week. Those aren't the Fox game of the week where Tom Brady's there and everything else, which, by the way, I don't even think Tom was very happy with the idea of the ejection.
But he's a player.
Yeah. I know, but like that's your golden boy there too. Either way though, like this game had an outsized amount of attention on it, which rightly so, given it is Packers and Lions, and it was for control of the NFC. But those other games don't get the same kind of white gloves from the NFL's New York office. If you really care about it, you would have gloves on for those games too, but you didn't. You have the one on because this is the game most of the country's watching.
I think,
and that's where I get frustrated.
I think that's slightly misleading, and I will say this: like, games of the week like this, they have more cameras on. They have literally more cameras on it, so they get officiated differently because they have more angles. They're spending more on the broadcast. I don't think like that could be a reason why it was called here, not in those other places. They might not have as many cameras there. It's not because there are more people watching. That's not how officiating works. It's not like New York is paying more attention to this game and not attention to the other games. It's not how it works. And then the other thing I want to say too is, because I'll see a lot of people incorrectly saying this, they've never seen this happen. They've never seen a guy get ejected for helmet-to-helmet hits. It happened at least three times last year. And you know how I found out? I Googled it, and it took 2 seconds to find helmet-to-helmet ejection. It happens a lot more than you think. Just because it's a new rule that you learn doesn't mean that the Lions are suddenly getting abused by this and no other team does. It happens. They want it out of the game. It was blatant. It was well after the ball was gone. I have no problem with it.
I will once again question whether if that had been a Packers player hitting a Lions player.
Come on, don't do that.
No,
don't
I will.
Do that.
I will in this case.
So the problem though, I think in lies with the Amik Robertson penalty that happens later in the game, because about an hour real time to that penalty happening that extended the Packers' opportunity, and then they ended up scoring a touchdown, was Aaron Glenn was giving Amik Robertson a mouthful about him.
Hmm.
He kind of skirted around a taunting penalty on a really good play he made in earlier in the game, and I think it was on a third down, so it could have extended the drive, and he was able to get out of it. As some people noted, like Jack Campbell stepped in, like
Yep.
second year player Jack Campbell stepped in and was quick to redirect his attention, but Aaron Glenn was pointing at his head like, you got to be thinking and not be making plays like that. And an hour
Hmm.
later, Amik Robertson makes a play. Granted, it was pretty inconsequential in terms of the outcome of the game, but clearly, guys, like emotions were just
Yeah.
running so high with this game. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, like these two teams have gone back and forth a lot, and they just clearly just have a lot to figure out between them. And I'm not happy with how Amik Robertson. Like I'm with it there. It's like Aaron Glenn's trying to tell him, hey man, you're going to get called for this at some point. You're just going to keep, you know, skirting this line with everything. And he finally, as you said, it was inconsequential. I think ultimately for like Monday sports show talk, it bails out some Jordan Love was bad. It bails out Jordan Love from some criticism because he did finally, lead them to a touchdown on that drive where he was awful for that entire drive. But other than that, like that's that uncharacteristic for the Lions, I think is the best way to describe this, Jeremy. It was
Yeah.
uncharacteristic on both these. This is a team that, in spite of having some pretty well penalized stuff, especially early in the year with with the cornerbacks, with Terry and Arnold, with some handsy DPI, has been trying to be a lot more disciplined, and they certainly don't. Even though I know there was the Amon-Ra St. Brown was jawing all game with the that one Dallas Cowboys player, we haven't really seen the Lions kind of getting got by their emotions much, and this kind of was
True.
a uncharacteristic game for them.
Yeah, but the secondary does play with some swagger, right? We know
Yes.
we know
Oh,
they like
absolutely.
to jaw. That dates back to last year, I think, where it got a little bit instilled by C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and that has certainly carried over a little bit. But I think the main takeaway here is like whether you believe it was the right call or not on Branch, this team did not flinch. This team did not
Yeah.
act like that was going to be a turning point in the game. They immediately hold the Packers to a field goal there. They eventually on the next drive down, I believe, score a touchdown or no, they have a long drive that eats
yeah,
up for the last 5
they
minutes
they
of
had
the
the
half.
missed field
They
goal
kick a field goal. Oh, they missed the field goal. That's right.
after the
The
Brian
Packers
Branch
missed
thing,
the field goal.
And then
The
going
Lions
into the
go
halftime
down.
is the pick six.
Yeah, the Lions go down, drive 4 out of the last 5 minutes of the half, kick a field goal, and then get the pick six. They didn't blink. They didn't waver. A lot of times in the past, again, like I think we're shaking those ghosts of the same old Lions where one bad thing happens, whether it's the Lions' fault or the ref's fault or whatever, and it snowballs from there. And we just have not seen anything resembling anything like that in 2 years.
Yeah. No, they were resilient in these. Like usually if you tell me Brian Branch is gone for the game, I'm worrying a little bit. And they managed just fine without Brian Branch out there. I didn't even see who they put in as the other safety.
it was Brandon
Uh,
Joseph.
Brandon
it was
Joseph,
Brandon Joseph. Okay.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
saw Rakestraw got some play, and by the way, I actually kind of like what I saw with Rakestraw. I know he got burned at least on one
He didn't even
kind
get
of
burned. That was just an incredible
that
play by
that
Jaden Reed.
it was an incredible play. All he really needs to do is on a rookie stuff is just turn around and track the ball. We can say that about a lot of CBs in this league. Ultimately, it was an incredible play.
Amik got burnt by Christian Watson on a ball that got hung up in the air because of some
Christian
swirling
Watson's
winds.
just too
True.
too fast for a me.
But I thought other than that though, I thought Amik played a really good game.
I
Yeah.
thought in general the secondary was fine. I mean, again, they were helped out by some drops here and there, but like they mostly kept everything in front of them. And so, the Packers had to kind of dink and dunk their way down the field, and that would get them into some third downs. And again, the Lions were really good on third and fourth down, and that got them off the field. That got them turnovers. That got turnover and downs.
And when you're dealing with the elements too, when you're down by that much and you have to throw the ball, the wind's a factor.
Yep.
The ball being slippery is a factor. There were drops. There were weird snaps from the center for the Packers. You kind of force them into that position. The only notes.
Funny
other,
though, none of that stuff happened to the Lions though, Chris.
I'm curious.
There were no bad snaps from Frank Ragnow.
Hmm.
There wasn't anything
There were a couple from
egregious.
Hogan Head.
Well, he's a linebacker.
Real quick though, before I move away from the defense, I thought Lee McNeil played a pretty good game again, and also the only one to register a quarterback hit. Or actually, no, wait, I think Anzalone had a quarterback hit as well. But how do you feel about Aleem Or is there anyone else on the defense that kind of pops to mind, Ryan, for you?
Oh boy, I think you want to talk about the elements that the Lions played through. One of the elements was a non-existent pass rush.
Hmm.
There was no push at all whatsoever. And I hate to call players out like this, but James Houston shouldn't see a Lions game for the rest of the season.
It was rough out
Like
there.
bad, like bad, real bad. Like Green Bay knowing where he is and running at him because they know that he's not setting the edge. They know that he's just not he just can't put it together. And it's so unfortunate because the Lions desperately need somebody. And I know we want to talk trade deadline stuff, but this was a game where Jordan Love looked like he had too much time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like Jordan Love
Right.
had too much time and he started overthinking things and trying to do ridiculous stuff. So it almost kind of worked to the Lions' advantage in some spots. But I mean, there whatever he wanted to do, he could. He was just
Yeah.
clearly affected by the groin injury. I think that has a lot
Oh,
to do
no
with
question.
with this game and this outcome too. And I'm not going to say that if they started a different quarterback, a certain one that happens to be undefeated and lends himself better to a running game, that the outcome would have been different in this game. But I will say that the pass rush, Jeremy, was so non-existent, and there were plays where James Houston was stopped moving his feet, and it wasn't even to contain Jordan
Bad.
Love. I hate to pile on the guy, but we can't pretend, Jeremy, like the Lions have their answer to the pass rush in this game.
They certainly don't. And James Houston, I mean, like, there was one time when I just felt like James Houston had a sack and he just like he dove way too early and it didn't work out. And I mean, you even saw Isaiah Thomas, one of the big runs. I think the biggest run of the game came where he kind of got cleaned out by a tight end. It's not working on the edge right now. And listen, they're down their top 4 guys. That's a tough blow for anybody. You get Josh Pascal back. Hopefully they add someone at the trade deadline. It certainly seems like one of those guys may be added, maybe even while we're talking right now. But yeah, it's not working right now. And I mean, like, here's the thing, like, whether it's Zadarius Smith or anybody else, like, don't expect huge numbers here. They just need to be disciplined. They just need to, when a quarterback is hobbled back there and has to hold on to the ball for 5-6 seconds because your defense, by the way, your secondary is holding up for as long as they are. Again,
On a wet field, that's so impressive.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
It lets them run these long routes, and that's really where the Lions were getting burned. Like
Yeah.
you were having some long developing routes, and those Green Bay receivers are too good to let run around there, and eventually turn on the boosters on you.
Right.
Like you need some pressure on a quarterback in that situation.
I will say, like, if the guys you trade for, like, if their edges are Mohamed, Pascal, traded guy, and Trevor Nowoski, they can make that work.
That's the other thing too. Is like this is once again a game without Josh Pascal, so I know they want to trust, and we'll see what happens with Pascal and how long the time away with the illness lasts and everything. But like, I think if Pascal plus one other piece is like, I'm happy with that.
They were also down Mekhi Wingo in this game, a guy who's kicked out and played some edge snaps for them as well. But
I don't think Pat O'Connor was very good today.
And no Rodrigo in this game either.
Yep. Jalen Reeves-Maybin suffers an injury as well.
He came back.
Yeah, but we want to talk about the pass rush, but I think this was another game where the Packers could run the football.
Yep.
And for the most part, again, this game is so weird because it seemed like the Packers could throw the ball if they wanted to throw the ball. It seemed like they could run the ball if they wanted to run the ball, but they still lost the game.
It's the
right?
situational
Because of
stuff,
the
right?
spots. Yes, it's the getting off the field in 4th down. It's making a play on 3rd down. It's a lot of those spot plays. But I thought Josh Jacobs could run the football, and he was probably one of the sturdier backs that I've seen the Lions play so far this year. Like him and Kenneth Walker. Their 2 games kind of stand out to me. Aaron Jones is just a different kind of back, and I think we saw that tonight. So that's the kind of running back you want in January, though.
Yeah, a buck 38, 6.0 a carry for the Packers run offense. I will say the Lions kind of sturdied up a little bit in the second half. Now, obviously, the Packers weren't running the ball too much in the second half, but Josh Jacobs 3 carries for 6 yards in the second half.
We got a couple minutes. Let's talk a little bit about the offense. who's the most impressive to you from this game besides Jared Goff, Ryan? Because I know we have a lot of praise to heap on David Montgomery to start the year, but Jahmyr Gibbs just keeps doing this, man.
Yeah, I thought there were a couple spots where I was expecting to see Montgomery out there, and it was Gibbs, and they kind of stuck to their usual ways, right? Gibbs gets a series, Montgomery gets a series. Gibbs, not too much like flip flopping on guys, and they really gave it to Gibbs a lot. Like he got so many opportunities in this game. I think made the most of his opportunities. I think the run blocking though was really good. I want to give Gibbs credit, but I think that some of the run design stuff, it's a lot of like getting Khalif Raymond in motion and faking like the end around stuff that opened up lanes for the offensive lineman to just because I can't say that there were a ton of times where I felt like Gibbs was fighting off a guy at the line of scrimmage or fighting off a guy close to the line of scrimmage. I thought that there were some lanes and he had some wiggle, and his game is just so different. And it's hard, Jeremy, because you say, I mean, last year was his rookie year. He was a rookie and he played the way that he played. So I think that the expectations were just so high, but you're seeing a guy who I think he's growing and he's getting better. And it's hard to think about that because of how he played last year, right?
Yeah, and I think the thing that I took away from Gibbs' game today is just he continues to grow more and more as a between the tackles runner. Because everyone, I think, thought this was a guy, just get him the ball in open space. Just, throw him the football, run angle routes, toss him the ball, reverse with him. They are not afraid to just put him in the David Montgomery role of just like, you put your head down and you pick up 4-5 yards. And he does it. Like, he falls forward. He is not a guy that's getting hit backwards despite his small stature, despite the fact that he's more fast than physical. But he's both. He is both. Mm-hmm. And, his touchdown run was between the tackles. He's reading the play better. He's being more physical. And he is just so interchangeable with Montgomery. And because I think if you had a more stereotypical like fastback, you're lightning to the thunder, I think this is a game in which David Montgomery gets 30 carries. But they don't need to do that. They can keep both guys. I mean, we've been saying it all year. Like, neither of these guys are ever going to get 20 carries in a game, aren't likely to get 20 carries in a game because they're going to split that load. Because they can, because they're interchangeable in so many different ways that it's very impressive. And the two combined for, let me do some quick math, 138 yards on 28 carries, which I believe I did some math earlier. It's 4.9 a carry against an okay run defense, but that's good enough. And
good enough to win.
Got them dub.
That you described last year's game though, Jeremy. David Montgomery, 32 carries. Remember, it was the game where they just battered them. Gibbs had 8 catches, or he had 8 carries in that game. Chris, gun to your head, would you include Jahmyr Gibbs in a trade for Myles Garrett?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
absolutely effing not.
Okay.
And certainly not for 3 first-round picks either. You can go to hell and you die.
What about a second-round pick on top of it, too?
You go to hell and you die.
All right.
Last note from me. And I think the problem is that the offense is so good, we're kind of getting tired because it's always the same guys. But what was that stat you gave in the break, Jeremy, about Amon-Ra St. Brown connecting with Jared Goff?
I'm glad you mentioned that because I wanted to mention it too because it's an absolutely insane one that just doesn't feel like it could possibly be true or real. But Jared Goff has targeted Amon-Ra St. Brown 30 times. The last 30 attempts that he's made to Amon-Ra St. Brown have all been caught.
Yeah.
30 pass attempts, 30 catches to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
This is a man who showed up to this game saying with a t-shirt with a shirt that said Green Bay sucks. And everyone who I was at Fox Sports Radio was like, "Oh my God, why are you wearing that? You're giving Green Bay bulletin board material." And I had to point out that Xavier McKinney really started this. But at the same time, that's the swagger going on right now with St. Brown. And once again, I feel like this is one of the best receivers in the NFL. And it's just incredible how under the radar he continues to go just because he's not making deep touchdown passes or a deep catch. But he is on, Jared Goff has gotten everyone on point working with him. And that is really the secret to Jared Goff's success. He is so good with those relationships with receivers who but I've never seen a connection between him and St. Brown.
Steady as a mouse.
as best as they come. As best as they come. Why? Wait, what's the steady as a mouse thing? What is this?
I said
from?
it one time, and it doesn't make sense.
That's fine. We say a lot of stuff on this podcast that doesn't make sense.
Just some of it sticks to you, you know?
Yeah, I know, like Horse Devore. When we come back on the Pride of Detroit, and I'm sure, and people have already demanded that the Cleet Blakeman thing get clipped, so I'm going to wear that for a while. When we come back on the Pride of Detroit PODcast, boy, we talked about the pass rush. What if I told you that we're kind of expecting some help on the horizon? What if I told you, depending on what the cost is, it might actually be totally acceptable too. We'll be right back on the Pride of Detroit PODcast. Detroit Lions just changed their profile pic on X to the St. Brown celebration touchdown.
Nice. All right, we got some things we need to do here.
And by the way, quick update: Minnesota is down 7 to the Indianapolis Colts. 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And they just missed a field goal too, which is funny because the Vikings.
Indianapolis did?
No, Vikings did.
Oh, okay.
53-yarder. All right. Let me get through the Twitch alerts very quickly. Izzy, I'm not sure if I said yours before, 40 months subscribed. Appreciate that. Summer Guy, 25 months, says the only thing better than beating the Packers once would be beating them again later this year. How about we do that this year? How about a sweep of the Packers? How about beating them
nice.
6 out of the last 7 matchups? We've beaten them 5 out of 6.
I do appreciate that, with the exception of the Bears. Like, you were getting home games on the back end of all of these matchups, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the last 6 are at home.
Yeah, there's like a couple of weeks where you're going on the road to play the Bears and the 49ers, but other than that, like, you've got a pretty good homestand coming. And that entire, like, in a side, like, it's, and the road game before that, the Colts, the way Lions fans have been traveling and how this Colts team is playing.
Sam Darnold got hit in the face again and they didn't call anything.
It's Bones Bro. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. And Joshua Mercer, 100 bits, says Sam Darnold just got murdered.
I think that's what I was referencing.
All right.
In Bones.
Let's talk Movember for a second here.
Okay.
Because we had, let's just say, an eventful second segment there.
Oh my.
Oh, wow.
An anonymous donor dropped $414.97. Says, great work, Jeremy. Class of 83. My first research project was with an U of M oncologist. That's cool. That's incredible. Thank you for the very generous donation. An anonymous $100 donation also came in. LJ, an $154.03 donation, says cancer has affected us all, unfortunately. Happy Movember. Ryan writes, I love Teddy on his face, please.
All right, I'm going to try here. I only have this dry erase marker, but I'm going to try to make it work.
And then another anonymous $100 donation came in requesting me to change my background, which you can do with an $100 donation. So I will do that in a second here. I got the image that they want.
I got a brand new spring light up here too. I might finally have enough lighting to do a green screen. I have to test it this week.
That works surprisingly well.
It's You're gonna run out of space to write Teddy though.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna put. Oh no, I hate when people call him Teddy or call him Ted. It's not a great heart.
I have to go full cam for a second here.
It's funny you say that. My sister is going to have her second kid, and they decided to name him after my grandfather, William. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, so Grandpa. Oh, okay, Bill. And she was like, you're not allowed to call it. No one's allowed to call him Bill. He's not Bill. He's Will. And I'm like, I used to ride around with my grandfather getting stuff for the restaurant. Everyone called him Bill. You may not want him to be called Bill. He's going to get called Bill.
How do I do this?
What are you?
Oh, what is this?
I don't see
can't
him yet.
fit it. It's vertical. I can't do it.
What is going on? Oh, Jesus Christ. I just saw it on the Twitch stream.
That's too creative.
I don't know. Put him over
No,
here.
no, that's fine right there. Just fit it in vertical. A little black didn't hurt anyone in there.
Oops. All right, we'll just leave it there. There's no other way I can do it. All right.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's great. I loved his quote, by the way. I loved his quote where he's like, he's going for a gold jacket.
Oh my God! Hold on. What happened now?
What'd you do?
Wait, weren't we just at 3,100?
Yeah, that's why a $500 donation from Jason Mott. Sorry, I'm not trying to do full names, but I forgot there. So thanks, Jeremy, for all you do for using your platform for charities. We are up to 3,609.
All that money, nobody needs us to like throw eggs at our face, or that's it?
Well, one thing we certainly have to do now, because every $1,000 that we raise, we have to do a spin of the Wheel of Pain. And so we crossed over 3,000. We might cross over 4,000 the way things are headed at this point, but let's get one of those in right now. Spinny wheel. Just make that guy show up. Pop. All right. Pickle juice, down ups, up downs, eat bugs, bean boozled, Vegemite. Do you guys want me? I guess I'm not going to put the hat on here, the Wine Dine 69 hat, because I'm already dressed up.
That's fair. I'll have to grab my Bean Boozled, and as people have mentioned in chat, yes, I still owe you a cereal Bean Boozled with milk. But I'll make sure I start bringing those so I can do these with you.
So on Saturday, I did up downs, and I also did the Wine Dine 69 shirt, which I also wore a shirt that said something to the effect of, "It's not a mustache, it's a seat," or something. I don't know, something like that. Something gross.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Anyways, what are you guys hoping we spin for here?
I'm hoping for pickle juice because I know you hate it.
I do. I've never had Vegemite, so I'm a little concerned about that one.
I've never had it either.
I just don't. This is my problem. This is my problem. I'd love to do more of these things on the Wheel of Pain with Movember, but these are all about putting something awful into my stomach.
Yeah.
If we could bring back like a wax job or something, I will participate.
Listen, you had all month to throw me ideas.
I know. And I was also like, I don't know. You hit me on the last day.
All
and
right.
I'm working the entire day.
All right. Here we go. For the one spin that we're due, trending towards owing another one. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. The up downs again, really? All right. I'm going to have to go full screen on this one again.
Hey, we've got a bit of a time limit with Ryan. Do we want to like pay all these off tonight?
I'll do this one really quick. It's fine.
Okay. Like armpit wax. Like Jeremy did that one year.
Oh,
Not fun. That was
not good.
I would not recommend that.
I would not want to do that.
I can take physical pain. What I cannot take is my stomach deciding to fold in on itself and destroy me. I already have enough problems digesting stuff. Macho Man and his socks.
Are these are up downs,
I'm going to try to tuck in my shirt this time. Maybe that's going to help with the crackness of all these.
It will not help at all. It will not help at all. It might actually make it worse.
It looks like those pants are made out of duct tape.
Whoops.
You remember how like everybody used to make everything out of duct tape, like wallets?
Oh yeah, duct tape was really good at doing all that stuff. Duct tape wallets, man.
Hi, Zazu.
That and the Superman S or whatever that S, the cool S.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, please draw the cool S on screen. I love the cool S.
Here we go. They're very comfy socks. They're little Twitch socks. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The line's supposed to be connected on the cool S, but that's good.
Oh,
Do your kids know about cool S?
They're not holding up.
I don't think they do.
Was that 3?
Is that Yeah, it's 3,
4,
3.
4,
5,
Finish.
5.
6, 7,
Oh, we're getting butt cracked.
8,
Here comes a Twitch strike.
9. Whew. How'd I do?
Can you hear us
I
now?
see a lot of crack kills in the chat. That's not good.
Yeah. You can put it up on your OnlyFans.
Oh, this is way too close to me. I don't like that. I'm sorry. Let's not get banned from Twitch. Maybe spin for something different next time. Should I just take it off? Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so tired.
Welcome back.
Enjoy the show?
Yeah, I was telling everybody that's going to be up on your OnlyFans later.
Perfect.
Those were a solid 10, though. You weren't cheating.
I don't cut corners here.
Well, do you remember
So-
Up Down Gate from last
Yeah.
year?
When the stream froze or whatever.
So, by the way, one stat I didn't get on that St. Brown catch streak. Next Gen Stats presents us chances of St. Brown's catch streak based on the difficulty of each throw is just 0.0001%.
It's insane.
1 in 780,000.
It's insane.
Now that they've mentioned it, the streak's going to get broken. I hate it. Because did you
Right.
notice the graphic on the Fox broadcast for when the Packers had like 6 penalties and the Lions had none? The very next snap was Brian Branch. I'm not even kidding.
Are we doing Chiron curses?
Hey, I don't know.
I'm just now realizing that I've never looked more like Blake from
Cool too.
what's the name of that show?
Oh, workaholics.
Workaholics. Yeah.
No, you do.
I got a Blake look at. Yeah. Indy, what are you doing missing field goals?
Yeah, missed a field goal there. How is this? How are they missing field goals in a dome? Very carefully.
There you
Very funny that Minnesota never gets brought up as a dome team.
They're not relevant enough. Hey, $200 donation from an anonymous donor. It says, love the work you guys do, and November is always my favorite time of year because of you guys. Thanks for all your work. $3,809 raised.
All right. Well, I haven't eaten all
awesome.
day, so I am more than ready for segment 3.
$3,800 is a lot of money, and it's November 3rd.
It's quite a pace.
That's crazy.
We're only
keep it up.
$1,191 away from celebrating Flea Flicker Day. Which, boy,
Every
I
day
can't
is
wait for
Flea
that.
Flicker Day.
Yeah. I think I have a couple more alerts on Twitch to go for, and then maybe we get to it, or if there's something y'all
Yeah,
want to talk
we
about.
should get to it.
Okay. Where was I? Jason 65, 19 months says Kings of the North, go Loins.
Go Loins.
Constrictor 14, 43 months says Lions own the Packers. Do you think the whole DB room reposting the double birds will bring on any other discipline? No. I don't think I've ever heard of a team getting disciplined for their social media use. Nah, they'll be fine. The Tech Daddy, 5 months subscribed to the channel. Joshua Mercer, 100 bits, says crack kills Jeremy. I don't know what you're talking about. And Lil
Pain's
Bam
elf
Bam.
drug.
Thank you for subscribing over on YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay. No more donations yet, so we're good there. I think we should get into the third segment.
We should, because we got plenty to talk about. And I know Ryan's on a bit of a pitch clock. And I'm sure everyone wants to watch the second half of this game. It's about a minute to go in the half. So, and I haven't eaten at all. I've barely eaten today, and somehow my migraine isn't killing me.
For the sake of cancer research, we need to beat the Packers every week. I'm all for it.
Just play the Packers
No.
17 times.
Yeah. Okay, let me switch a scene. Sorry. There we go.
Pride of Detroit POD cast, wrapping things up, but very big topics to talk about. Probably almost as important as the Packers game to a lot of the minds of Lions fans out there is the trade deadline. So Tuesday is going to be huge for a lot of different reasons. And we're all talking about the trade deadline that has been placed on November 5th. First off, terrified why it's on November 5th. Nothing else is happening that day, I suppose. But the Lions definitely after this game, we've talked about it. They need another edge rusher. They need someone to help set the edge at this point. And it's becoming more and more abundant, I think, Jeremy, that I know they wanted to try to address this through in-house for a little bit, but it sounds like the Detroit Lions, from the rumors that came out today, would be very surprised to see them stand pat. Now, they might get outbid on an effort and may not be able to make a move, but it sounds like they've got at least one player in their sights, according to Pro Football Talk.
Yeah, and it's the one that I think we all recognize from the get-go made the most sense. Browns defensive end, Zadarius Smith. He's 32 years old. He costs peanuts this year. Cost about $10 million, I think, last time I checked. Next year, so he signed
Expiring contract.
Yes, he signed through 2025. So the Lions would have his rights for next year as well if they wanted to keep him. But it's always important to remember with trades that all the guaranteed money essentially stays with the team that's trading him unless they come to an agreement. So if the line, if it doesn't work out with Zadarius Smith or he gets injured in Detroit, assuming the trade goes through, if it does, they wouldn't be on the hook to keep him if it didn't work out for 2025. And yeah, I mean, listen, don't expect the world if Zadarius Smith comes here, but I will say this, he's a very solid foundational player who will do the bare minimum of what you ask him to do. And that's so important to what the Lions want. They just want players that they can trust. They're not going to, bite on play action. They're not going to loose contain on play action rollouts. They're going to, and he's a very physical player that they like in those edge guys. So he is a very, very good fit to what they want to do. And I think all that's really left is to see how much the Lions are willing to give up for him. Because listen, there are other teams out there that are competitors that need edge help because you can never have enough edge help. So that could potentially drive the price up. But the good news today is that the Browns lost. Yes. They look terrible. They're 2-6 now or whatever they are now. They're hopeless.
Jim Harbaugh giving one last gift to the state of Michigan.
That's right. And so they're out of it. They're full sellers at this point now. They're not going to sell everything. Anyone that's hoping Myles Garrett is suddenly on the table, that's not happening.
Nope.
But listen, Zadarius Smith is a really solid player. Don't expect double-digit stacks, but he's got 4 or 5 through 8, 9 games now. So it's going to be a good addition, and let's just hope the Lions get it done.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm curious what you think on the price because I just don't the big worry has been about day 1 or even early day 2 picks. I could see Zadarius going for a third and a fourth or even a fourth and a fifth. But again, depending on what happens around the league, it could drive price up. So, take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But I think this is the guy who makes the most sense. It's the talent's there, the work ethic's there, and the price is there. And it would be something that would not hamper the Detroit Lions and how they've been building this organization.
Yeah, so Jeremy Fowler did come out and say that the Browns, about a week ago, he mentioned that the Browns were seeking a day 3 pick for Zadarius Smith and
a quality
day 3 pick, right? So you're talking about maybe a fourth or a fifth, right? Especially when you start talking about the bidding war that might happen. It's important to know, right, that Lions don't have their 3rd round pick in 2025 from the from the Manu trade.
Yep.
They also don't have the fourth round pick from the DeAndre Swift trade because they traded that back to the Eagles to get Sione Vaki. So you're talking about they have a fourth round, a fifth round. They got a sixth round pick as part of the Carlton Davis trade when they made the swap to get him. They have the capital, Jeremy, and they absolutely need the help. I'm just wondering if one's enough. I'm just wondering if Zadarius Smith is enough from watching this football game because, like we said, it's not just the pass rush, and Zadarius will help in that way, but he is every bit of 6'4", 275, the big kind of edge defender that can play really well in run defense as well. I just don't know if it's enough. I feel like they need more
Well,
juice.
is it enough if you can also say I can also say Josh Pascal and Malcolm Rodriguez are back helping out that defense too?
You're also talking about a Josh Pascal who's really struggled staying on the field in terms of injuries. You're counting on Levi Onwuzurike, who is staying healthy for the first time in his entire career. You're going to be counting on guys like Mekhi Wingo to also just play rotationally. That's why I think just one is not enough, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's hard. First of all, it's hard to just do that, to find two guys worth trading and having the draft capital to do all that. And that feels a little bit more all in than maybe just one guy. The Lions will also potentially get some guys back. John Kaminsky is someone that I think they expect to get back in December. And I don't know the other thing though is like, is everyone going to stay healthy? Like if Josh Pascal, Zadarius Smith, Levi Onwuzurike, Mohamed, those are your top three or top four guys. Okay, that can work. Like I said, I think you can make that work and be okay. But if one of those goes down now, like you don't have an option to trade again. This is your last chance to add someone that is currently on an NFL roster, and that makes it tricky. Would I love for them to add two guys? Of course. Will they? I doubt it. I think they trust their own guys enough. I think they trust their own developmental system. I think they trust a guy like Mohamed enough to be in there and be a rotational guy that if he needs to start a game or two, he will. But I think I would say your concern is certainly warranted because it doesn't look good right now.
No, it's kind of getting back to last year and I think the Lions compounding this issue too is like, I don't think they trust their blitz enough as much as they did last year as well, Ryan, to overcome some of these issues. Because I think when they've blitzed in the last few weeks, like especially they've kind of have those images of what happens when they blitz Sam Darnold. Like I think they know they can blitz from the secondary, but I think they would rather have that secondary in its position to be opportunistic and getting these takeaways rather than worrying about, helping out the pass rush.
Well, takeaways have been the name of the game. Sam Darnold absolutely tore up the Lions when they blitzed him. And that was the first time we saw the Lions on the field, though, game plan for a week without Aiden Hutchinson, and here's what the defense looks like. So I wanted to give Aaron Glenn a bit of a break, but we saw the first half against the Tennessee Titans. And, I think that this game being so messy and not getting a good, read on. I mean, remember what the Packers did when they came to Detroit on Thanksgiving last year? I know all of us want to forget about it, but that's what happens when turnovers bounce the other way. That was the game where Jared Goff had the fumbles and the fumble luck bit them in the butt. And the blitz isn't something that's going to work with this team. I don't think. They need to have guys who can push up front because right now they don't. They just don't have guys other than Aleem. And I think DJ Reader's awesome in run defense. I think he's really good at gapping. He provides a little burst here and there, but he's a nose tackle. You know what I mean? Like you can't be counting on your nose tackle to be like, oh, you need to bring the pass rush all the time. It just doesn't work like that. So, it's not just Hutchinson. Jeremy always brings it up. Like losing Pecco, like that sucked too. That wasn't a good thing for the run defense by any means. And I just think they need more guys. And that's why two makes sense. When I saw the Chiefs get Josh Uche for a 6th-round pick, I thought, man, I wish the Lions would have given up a 6th-round pick to get Josh Uche. Not that he would come in and play defensive end. He'd be more your Derek Barnes, Sam linebacker, and maybe they believe in Trevor Nowatzki. But it's just one of those things where I feel like the Lions just need some more guys, to Jeremy's point, because, I mean, what happens if Sedarius comes in and and there's an injury that happens. I mean, God forbid that happens because tonight is not it.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of bodies that just need to be replaced on this roster.
Yeah.
We keep talking about how many D linemen are on IR, and it's not thinning out anytime soon.
Right. But I mean, you will get Malcolm back.
Mm-hmm.
You'll eventually get Broderick Martin, although it sounds like maybe that's still a couple weeks away from happening. And
John
listen,
Kaminsky in December.
Even assuming Broderick Martin is going to come in and give you above average play, you don't know that yet.
You don't know that. He's a mystery box.
He's
still a developmental project. Yeah.
Right. So there's still a lot to play out there, but I think, the weeks and weeks of being concerned that the Lions aren't going to do anything, I think there is some relief coming there. It might not be enough. It might be enough. Yeah. But I do want to also continue to point out, though, that despite the fact that the Lions have not had a pass rush for the past 3 weeks, how many points have they given up? Like almost none. The run defense doesn't look good. And they're still not giving any points. Why is that? Well, part of it is the other team's making some mistakes. But a lot of it is the secondary's holding up. They're making key plays on big downs. They're getting turnovers. Like they're
red
still
zone defense is great.
They're still succeeding defensively. 14 points in the last 2 weeks each. That's pretty darn good, especially when you consider 8 of the Packers' 14 points were in garbage time. Like, and again, the Lions' defense is still very much holding up, despite the fact that there are flaws on this team. Welcome to the NFL. It seemed like maybe the Lions didn't have any flaws when Hutchinson was here. Now they have a little bit of a flaw. Maybe not just a little bit, but they're holding up. And the major equalizer of it all is the fact that their offense is the best in the league. And
they have one weakness now versus none.
Exactly. And if their offense continues to play like it does and they don't play in monsoons anytime soon, they're going to outscore every team.
Well, good news for you because now through basically until the Bears game on the 22nd of December, it's domes.
Yep.
And really, the only game after that Bears game is in San Francisco.
And they're getting a big offensive weapon back starting Monday.
That's right, baby. Let's talk a little bit about Jameson Williams before we're done. I hit on it a little bit during our Purview podcast with Jerry and Brandon about Jameson Williams. So Jamo will be coming back. He's coming back after a game where both Tim Patrick and Allen Robinson showed up in the box score, as we previously mentioned. Lions have been kind of missing that deep threat no matter what. I'm curious how the team's going to handle his return, and I'm curious if there might be other stuff coming down the pike. Probably not this season, though. We did have the report out from WXYZ in Detroit that the police department is looking into why Jameson Williams was let go from a traffic stop and some incident involving a concealed weapon. We're not here to talk about the legal ramifications of that at all, just like we weren't talking about it on the Purview. I think that there's questions about whether or not the NFL will step in, but given how long these kind of situations go, I don't expect anything the rest of the season, but there are questions. I think some fans have questioned is like, they would say this is the third time Jameson Williams is caught up in some issues. I don't know about that. That said, this team kind of needs Jameson Williams, Ryan, to be out there and to be available because they would love that element to their offense.
I don't know if I can have this conversation with Jeremy's background, if I'm being 100% honest, but
not a visual medium for the podcast listeners. We have a "Oops, I Did It Again" from Britney Spears, but it's Kirby Joseph's face on
Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams, excuse me.
Yeah.
And to be clear, I didn't choose this background. This was part of a donation as part of our Movember campaign.
Yeah. So it's Jamo. Excuse me. I brain farted again. Adequate.
Sorry, I pulled things off the rails with that. But
yeah,
Jeremy, tonight, if Jameson Williams was in this game, does he get 2 targets?
Probably.
Does he get more rushing attempts than he does passes thrown his way. This
He,
it feel
he probably
yeah.
gets that Khalif Raymond, end around that lost 16 yards or 11 yards or whatever it was.
Maybe my least favorite play of the game. I was like, okay, Ben Johnson. And
I
Tom Brady's
loved it.
like,
Honestly,
oh, look, he had to get cute. And I was
I
like,
poured on him. I was all for it. It didn't work, but I respect it.
yeah, whatever. Ben Johnson's got to have fun, right? Because he doesn't get to always call all of his plays.
Right.
But yeah, the impact starts next week though. Like coming back, it's a huge game. Like I looked at the Packers game and I looked at the Texans game. And I said if the Lions go 1-1 over those two games, I'll feel really good.
Texans down another lineman, I believe.
Two incredibly tough games. Going into Lambeau, going to Houston for Sunday Night Football,
Prime time, yeah.
prime time, the big games, and the Lions have an opportunity to really send a message. And that's a Houston team that they were a preseason darling. A lot of people picked them to be in the mix when it came to the top teams in the AFC. It's a huge game for them, and having Jameson Williams back, Jeremy, I think it's a good spot. It's prime time. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like I think that Jameson Williams is going to show up and show out.
Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of rust to kick off because with the timing, the way things worked, he practiced all the way through Thursday last week. So he only missed 4 practices and 2 games. They're going to get him active. They're going to get him out there probably on Monday because it's a 2-game suspension, not a 2-week suspension. So it'll be nice to have him out there. I do want to talk a little bit about like the character and stuff and all those concerns because I think we would be silly to ignore them. We don't, like Chris said, we don't know if any additional punishment is going to be handed down. It's going to go through the legal authorities first before the NFL steps in, and we're still kind of to wait. We know that they sent in a warrant to the DA's office, and so the DA has a decision whether to act on that or let it slide. We'll see what happens there, but the NFL isn't going to do anything until that decision has been made and the whole legal process has been cleared. But yeah, I mean, this is 3 strikes, and I'm not saying the Lions should adhere to a 3 strikes and you're out policy because each one was a little bit different, while also kind of having some similar themes to it, right? Like not paying attention to all the rules of the gambling policy, not paying attention to what's being put in your body or the PES policy, not fully knowing the Michigan gun laws, or at least not understanding how they should be applied.
Yeah.
And so, like, that attention to detail matters when you are a public figure. That attention to details matter when you are held to a very high standard. And as an NFL millionaire, it might not be fair, and I might not be able to live up to those standards. But that's the way this league works. If you mess up, it's going to be highly publicized. It's going to hurt your football team, and Jamo needs to clean that up. And given what the coaching staff has said about him, given what his teammates have said about him, I think he will. And to me, this does not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily. I think maybe the most important point to me is that none of these infractions are considered nefarious. Right? He wasn't swinging the gun around and pointing it at anybody. He didn't inject himself with steroids. That would have been a much higher fine. He wasn't betting on Lions games and using his insider.
He was doing that as a hotel, which got to be like tangentially called a team facility.
They're honest mix-ups, and I'm not trying to downplay the gun charge because we're talking about a potential felony, and that's real. Like that's a big deal. But again, like I think the intentions are important, and nothing about who Jameson Williams is as a person, as I've grown to learn, is nefarious. Like there's not a nefarious bone in his body. He's a kid out there. He's a kid out there that needs to grow up a little bit, and like I said, I'm pretty confident he will.
From talking with some legal friends, and I don't want to dive too deep into it, I would be very shocked if this thing even turned into a full felony. Like, given the circumstances and given some of the facts that have come, alleged facts to come out, we don't actually have facts because there hasn't been discovery. There hasn't even been there hasn't even been a sign that this is going to be pursued by the district attorney on anything here. But I think it would be I think this is kind of an honest mix-up that's happened. And from a legal standpoint, it's going to be hard to see anything sticking above, like, say, misdemeanor at the end of the day, considering how these kind of things play out. But at the same time, like, I don't know. The one thing is like you get caught saying the things you said on camera, which are whatever. I can is it hot enough for me to just say I just don't care about this particular like I just don't care about this particular incident. It's fine. Like compared to where we were like, 30 years or so ago in the NFL, like it's hard for me to kind of get up and outraged about any of this, Ryan.
Yeah, I think the reason we're talking about this incident is because of when it happened. You know what I mean? Like
While he's suspended.
it's all contextual and it all comes, off of the PES stuff. So you you just look at the decisions though, and it's like, man, you're stepping on every single rake in the yard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As you're navigating through this, and I agree, Jeremy, and you're the one who's in the locker room, but from everything I've read and, consuming Lions content and seeing the way that Jamo acts in like their social media videos and stuff, like that kid, that's what he is. You know what I mean? He's a kid and the maturity thing has to come at some point, but it's like he doesn't have any ill will or any malice in his heart. And the fact that they knew all this stuff, Chris, and Dan Campbell was still, he vouched for Jamison Williams twice. He did it the first time with the PES stuff, and they already knew about what had happened with the gun stuff because he was honest and forthright and was communicative. I mean, can we say that that's a good thing for Jamison Williams,
Yeah,
right? He wasn't trying to hide it or,
Yeah.
Cam
I
Sutton.
I guess that's
saying.
what I keep coming back to is like, is this bad decision making like some people have made it out to, or is it just and I don't even know what I fully mean by this term, but I love using it. Is this just bad mileage? Is this just like I don't want to say bad decision making, or is this just not bad luck, but just like you've had three things happen in a relative short period of time in your career, and it just I think a lot of that attention comes because they're all so close together.
Yep.
Versus if he had these incidents through his life, but there's like a couple of years in between them, it's not as big of an issue.
Right. But and
that's
it
what I
also
mean by bad mileage.
It also makes more sense for them to happen early on in his career, though, right? Like before he's learning his lessons. Now, I still think he has to put himself in better positions. Like probably on a Tuesday night in the middle of the season, maybe don't be in your car downtown with guns in your car. But who might? I mean, again, I don't want to come off as too judgmental. But being out that late at night during a work week is not an equation for success.
I know, but man, come on.
I'm
You
gonna
were
be
you were
judgmental
you were
about the
you were
Cubs.
23 at one time,
course.
and like
Of course.
also being 23 and being a millionaire,
But-
and having these things. And I understand you have
You're
to
held
learn,
to-
right?
But you're held to a higher standard. I'm not saying it's
You
fair,
are.
but you are held to a higher standard.
Right, but I'm also saying that the incident, what was he doing to hurt anybody?
He wasn't.
You know what I mean? He's
Correct.
he's in Detroit, and one of the things that JMO says is like, why do you think I have a gun? Like I live in Detroit, like to protect myself. And
But not every Lion's running around with a gun in their car. Like
Most of them aren't in Detroit, though.
Yeah,
But that's been part of it with JMO, is people have been pointing out
I'm not
like,
saying,
oh,
I'm not
like
saying that as a flaw. I'm saying as someone in West Bloomfield probably doesn't have guns in their car, doesn't need guns in their car.
in Birmingham, you probably feel pretty safe. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm just saying that JMO does that for protection, and that's his right. I'm not going to step on that at all whatsoever. I'm saying that was the gambling stuff hurting anybody?
No. Victimless crime.
Was it
All of
the
them.
PES stuff hurting anybody other than JMO himself? Like
the only thing I'll say about the gun is
he's growing up.
unsecured concealed guns very quickly show up, find ways to, get taken and show up in the wrong places. Like that's the main worry about that to me.
Yeah, but
But-
I mean they weren't unregistered. It wasn't like somebody in the car didn't have CPL. Like
No, but they were unsecured. But I mean, part of that was that JMO's was that JMO doing that, or was that the person who the guns were registered to? Which
Well,
is kind
JMO
of sorry.
Jim had one registered to him, and his brother had the other
Okay.
one registered to him.
Okay, I thought they were both okay. Yeah,
But Jameson's brother is the only one with the CPL.
with the CPL, right?
All right.
Okay.
I think, are we good there?
Yes, I think
are we good there?
Unfortunately, I worry that this is going to follow around JMO for a while, but as we said, he's young, and I think some of this will come. I think you're right, Jeremy, that since this is young, it will come off pretty quickly. So as long as he doesn't make more mistakes.
Yep.
7-1.
7-1.
He's not the most immature wide receiver in the NFC North. That belongs to the guy who was doing 140 miles an hour for a dog emergency. And then the next offseason was drunk behind the wheel and asleep.
Yeah. A week after his teammate died.
Still
In a
playing
car accident.
Still playing football.
Well, we'll see what they have to wait till the legal process. He'll be suspended next year.
And that's
the legal
the
process-
Chris's point about Jamo, right? Like,
Yeah.
Legal processes take a long ass time. For a reason, I would say. All right. Once again, Movember's going on. Once again, Drugstore Cowboy on November 10th in Los Angeles. If you live in the LA or Southern California area, check my Twitter account at Chris Perfett. We'll have more there. Anything else we need to hit on, Ryan?
I got one more thing real quick. Because it's Movember and it's a special month for us over here. If you've been missing the First Bite podcast and you're not subscribed to Pride of Detroit Direct, where it currently lives, we will be live streaming those again during the month of Movember. But it's only going to be a live thing. It's still not going to be part of the podcast feed. You're not going to be able to watch replays of it on YouTube or Twitch. But if you miss those are going to be live again, either Wednesday nights or Thursday nights typically. Obviously, we still have the Purview podcast as well. Those are both going to coexist live streamed weekly, all of Movember. So if you missed that podcast, it's coming back.
Yep. I think we're good everywhere else on that front. Lot to do this month, so be sure to be subscribed to Pride of Detroit.
Thanks for donating.
Thanks for donating. We have something we haven't said is I believe we are at now here as we are recording this. We're at $5,000 already.
Goodness gracious!
Yeah,
it's November 3rd, people.
3 days, $5,000 already raised. That's insane.
We want to hit the big numbers this year, the bigly numbers. Myself, for Jeremy Reisman, for Ryan Matthews, and for everyone out there. We'll see you Starside.
Recording stopped.
Perfect timing.
Well,
I
crap.
was about to die.
I have to do
What?
2 spins of the wheel. Is that right? We were only at 3,000, right?
Yeah, I think that might be right.
All right. Well, let me get to the donations. I don't remember. We'll say this anonymous one. $200 from an anonymous donator says, "Love the work you guys do, and November is always my favorite time of year because of you guys. Thanks for all your work." I think I read that one before, but either way. Joshua Mercer got us over to, I think, 4,000 exactly with a $191 donation. Appreciate that. And then, Detroit, a $1,000 donation says, "Get that flea flicker arm or thumbs and eyes warming." Like the little Cam Newton kid. I got it. Incredibly generous, all of you who've donated so far. Okay, we're up to 5,000, which means, I got to spin the wheel twice here. Do we want to just
Minnesota
jump right
tied
into
the
that?
game, by the way.
What? Are they cheating?
It was Jordan Addison, I believe, so yes.
Okay. That is kind of cheating. I'm just going to spin. Here we go. Pickle juice.
A treat, a delicacy that many of us would consider.
I love pickles. I'm not sure about pickle juice.
I enjoy the pickles. I enjoy the pickle juice.
Well, you would think you'd enjoy pickle juice because, the pickles are full of the juice. Think about it.
Yeah, you gotta think about it, Man, just some of these photos from the game are so cool. Like the one of how they kept on commenting. They're like, "How can Aaron Glenn see anything?"
He needs windshield wipers installed on those. I like. Do you follow the?
Proud Papa.
Yeah. Do you follow the Ryan? Do you follow the Art But Sports account?
I mean, if you don't, then you're not getting any of the good out of Twitter.
Lions admin replied to the one they did today of St. Brown's touchdown celebration.
Oh yeah.
Lions admin responded to it, but they tied it to. I love religious artwork. I took my mom to the Getty Museum in L.A. when she came out to visit, and we loved all the religious wing. Apparition of the Apostle Peter to Saint Peter Nolasco, with the. Here, let me put this in the Slack.
Hi puppies. Hi puppies.
That was probably my favorite.
All right, I'm gonna drink this.
Oh yeah.
Gross.
That's a good one.
I
By the
love
way,
that entire account.
this is from last year, so I don't know if these expire. Probably not, right?
Like mostly salt,
Yeah.
right?
I
Is
don't
that how that
see
works?
a due by date, not due by expired
Due
by.
You return it to Blockbuster.
No, my pregnant pickle juice. It's due by this date.
Gosh. What do pickle juice babies look like?
Pickles.
Do they smell good?
Yes. All right, for $4,000 to the Rogel Cancer Center, University of Michigan. Here we go.
I don't see anything in that bottle.
Well, it looks like he's got plenty in his mouth.
It was in there. I promise you.
All right.
This makes my burps taste terrible too.
Really, you dislike it that much, huh?
I really do.
Hmm.
The only
I've heard Vegemite sucks though, so
yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm hoping that's not what this next one.
I should get a
I'll
jar
eat
of
bugs.
that. I will do that.
Where did
least
my
that-
Vegemite go?
At least I can justify that, and that's like that might suck, but it also is like good for you.
it just doesn't sound good though. A thick, dark brown Australian food spread made from leftover brewer's yeast extract with various vegetable and spice additives.
Do you put it on like bread or something? Like I've never understood this about that. Okay, you put it on toast.
I think so.
I might have to get some just to share your pain a little bit, but like I at least take that over the fucking Malort I had to drink one year.
I like that it's a squeezy. Like it's a little squeezy.
Well, I'm looking at pictures of the actual jar and how you have to spoon it out, and like you definitely want it squeezed.
Speaking of squeeze, I had Taco Bell breakfast today, so I don't think that helped either about
You're
anything
killing
how
me.
I'm feeling.
You're
yeah,
killing me, man.
definitely didn't.
There's no taco. All the Taco Bells around me have stopped serving breakfast.
Honestly, a good thing. You talk about like your stomach issues, that's probably why.
I am addicted to fast food breakfast. Yeah.
No, it's a hard thing to give up.
Yeah.
When
I started going to
when
Wendy's.
McDonald's has an app that just gives you a breakfast sandwich for $1, it's like why wouldn't
there's one-
why wouldn't I do it?
And there's one right there before I go to work, and I get in at 5:30 in the morning. I'm up, awake. I haven't done anything else. I'm rushing to work. You know what I'm getting is a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. I got the points for it.
Either of you guys have the chicken Big Mac yet?
I have, yes.
I also have.
Dude, I think it's good.
It's fine, but can I be crazy? I'm a little crazy. I wish they used the McChickens instead of that whatever patty they use.
The
Because
big,
it's at
the
least
big
nugget?
chicken nuggets? Yeah.
Yeah, because I like this. I like the pepper on the McChicken patties. When I found out it was just like a big chicken McNugget, I was kind of like, oh, I'm kind of disappointed a bit. Also has the same problem elevated with every other Big Mac in that you try to take a bite out of it and the whole thing collapses out the back.
I don't want to judge the chicken Big Mac too much because I feel like maybe I just got a bad one. But to me, the Big Mac sauce, there was too much of it. Like I couldn't even taste the chicken at all.
Well, that's what ruins McChickens though, too, right? Is when they put the mayo on it and it's like way too much mayo.
That's the problem with using a McNugget patty is because McNuggets have no flavor. So they're probably
McNuggets taste like something.
They taste like nothing.
I
Nothing
like
to me. That's why they use so much Big Mac sauce.
I almost kind of like it more without cheese.
I I don't like chicken sandwiches with cheese. I don't prefer. And
I love
if
cheese.
I do, I'd rather it be like pepper jack or something.
I
Not
love
like
cheese.
just American cheese. Yeah, it feels a little out of place.
By the way, speaking of fast food, terrible decisions. That pineapple frosty, god
Wendy's.
fucking awful, awful. I went in expecting something like a Dole Whip or something. It's
Was that the mistake though? You went in with expectations.
I guess I saw it and I'm like, all right, there's gonna be more pineapple flavor to it. It's literally just a vanilla frosty and like there's a couple squirts of pineapple syrup, which is rancid at various points. And here's the problem: it's a frosty. It's not like you can mix it to blend it together. It just sits there in layers, unmixed, until you get down to it.
I like Wendy's. I've been banning their SpongeBob thing though because it wasn't like the creator of SpongeBob like I hate fast food. I never want us to be doing exactly what Wendy's is currently doing.
Oh, I did not know that.
I think he went out there and said that and like I think he died, so like he's not there to defend it. I'm just like what?
Yeah,
One little roast.
I'm very anti it because one of my students in yearbook was like, Mr. Matthews, I work at Wendy's and I hate my life when I'm at work now because we have all these idiots that come through and they come through the drive-through and they have the SpongeBob recording and they're trying to post something on social media. And he's like I think he said like our store, like I think in a week's time they ran out of the ingredients to make the Krabby Patties, which is, and he goes, the craziest thing about all of this is that it's just the burger. Like it's all the ingredients that you normally eat from Wendy's just packaged to you and you're charged more for it for putting Big Mac sauce on it.
You could easily get burger sauce somewhere else at home.
So I'm anti that because high schoolers are the ones who are stuck making your Krabby Patties and dealing with you being idiots in the drive-thru.
Yeah.
Not everything is content, people.
Yeah. Someone in chat says, can we please talk? David Reinford asks, can you talk about the Bears for a bit, please?
Only for a bit because I still have to record an entire video with Eric. I still need to write the entire newsletter. I still need to give out grades.
Here's the lowdown on the Bears. They suck. Like I don't know.
I didn't watch any of the game. I was busy watching the Lions game. I don't know. They probably sucked.
To say. They got dog walked by the Cardinals.
Yeah, and the Cardinals are probably a little bit better than most people think, but they're not
Caleb
good.
Williams cannot put together right now. Cannot put together 4 quarters of good football, and that defense got beat way too bad for them to like ever recover from it. And also like. As much as everyone was praising DeAndre Swift in those 2 games where they were looking okay, he's done nothing since. They don't have a run game. They have Caleb Williams like running for his life trying to throw the ball to Roma Dunze. Keenan Allen finally met Father Time.
That's the concern though with like them playing the Lions in their other outdoor game. Like, was it December 22nd?
Yeah.
Gives Caleb Williams more time to figure it out. Not saying that he will, but that's the one downside of that. But the Arizona Cardinals, you're talking about the NFC West leading Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who the Lions went into their house and beat them too.
Yeah. Yep. 3-0 against the NFC West. The only thing I will say that's in the Lions' favor is that God bless the Bears and their insistence not to fire coaches mid-season because it means Matt Eberflus is going to go down with this ship.
It's the reason why I thought the Caleb Williams thing was not the right move is because they're probably going to, well, I don't know if they're going to, but they have reason to fire their head coach, and doing that to a rookie quarterback where you're changing their head coach, probably going to change their offensive system. Like you're setting them up to fail.
Which a smart organization would have gotten rid of the head coach, which you had questions about last year.
Right. I think the plan was either get rid of your head coach and get rid of your quarterback, or do neither. Mm-hmm. And they chose
not somewhere in the middle
option.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yep.
I would like to spin the second Wheel of Pain, and then I would
Yeah.
like to leave and eat and record videos and wipe my face off. Cool.
Sounds good.
All right,
Let's
let's
do
do
it.
that. Spin wheel. Please no up downs. Bean Boozled. I'll take that. And here's the exciting part. I got the new edition, which has new flavors.
How many are you going to eat? One?
I ate 3.
Oh, hello.
Tell you what, I am going to bounce because my migraine's coming back a bit.
Okay.
And I want to work on this before it hits. Once again, to anyone watching in LA or watching this on a replay, Drugstore Cowboy for Sunday Night Football. I'll post it again on my Twitter tomorrow, or X or whatever they call it. You guys, if anyone in the Southern California area can make it out, great. DM me on Twitter if you can. If not, whatever. It's not going to be big. If I just see people around there and I see you recognize you from POD, that's cool. Otherwise, I'm just out there to watch a game with other. I've been told this is a place where there's a lot of Lions fans in LA. So, and it's probably the easier one for me to get to versus the bar I was told about in Santa Monica. So, all right, cool.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, everyone.
See you, Chris.
Catch you all around. Yep. Thanks, guys.
I'm going to be... Wait, how does that work? How did you get over there? I'm going to be Jeremy. You're going to be Eric for a minute. So...
Trying to get into character, I'm sorry.
The new flavors are burnt rubber and wet dog.
Oh,
That could also be top banana or licorice.
which one do you think would be worse between those two?
Wet dog.
Yeah, wet dog would be bad. But also, I don't,
Is that 3 or 4? 1, 2. That's 4. I put 1 back. All right. Well, we're gonna find out maybe what burnt rubber is. So I got 3 here. This one, this orangish yellow one, is either strawberry banana smoothie or dead fish. I've had dead fish before. It's absolutely terrible.
yeah, it's not good. Yeah.
I believe this is either toasted marshmallow or stink bug. And this one is either black licorice, which is also disgusting, by the way. I'm not going to enjoy this one either
Yeah,
way.
what? Yeah,
Or burnt
that,
rubber. I'm going
that's
to
a
save that one.
lose-lose.
I'm going to save that one for last. Dead fish, strawberry, banana.
Mm-hmm.
That was a dead fish.
Dead fish, huh?
That was a dead fish.
That's tough. 0 for 1. To kick off Movember, huh?
It's not great.
It's okay, though.
We're going to bounce back. That one's so bad, though. Like, I feel like my breath already stinks. That's how bad it is.
I mean, it's that on top of the pickle juice.
True. Dude, thank you for the sub. Am I caught up on subs? I feel like I'm not. Thank you for the 14 months. Says, let's go Movember, #1 seed, baby. Not that obvious,
Jarvis.
17 months.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis is what is on Jeremy's head.
Yeah. Not very legible anymore.
Have
All
you
right.
had to write anything on your head yet?
Besides this,
Yeah.
what did I write on Saturday? I forgot what I wrote. I wrote something on Saturday. What's the score of this game? Is it still 7-7?
I don't know.
It is. All right, next one. Top banana. No. Toasted marshmallow or stink bug? That's marshmallow.
Toasted marshmallow?
That's toasted marshmallow. Oh, yeah, that's right. I drew in a unibrow.
Oh, across here. Nice.
Okay. All right, well, not looking forward to this. Black licorice or burnt rubber. I'm assuming it's black licorice. It's just says licorice, but it's literally black, so
Right. Yeah.
probably black licorice.
It's kind of a bummer. Sorry. Bon appetit. That makes me think it's burnt rubber, the way that you're reacting.
Yeah? yeah, it definitely is. It's not the
How you were
worst.
expecting?
I don't understand how they can be accurate with something like that. Like, how do you get food to taste like burnt rubber?
I don't know. How do you get it to make it taste like dead fish?
That's a good point. Out of all the bad flavors, that one is relatively mild. It doesn't taste good, obviously. It's more puzzling and weird.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just interested to have you try wet dog.
No, not tonight. Not tonight. I'll send
All
these
right.
to you and you can try it yourself.
After I get my hot sauces.
That's right. You still don't have them?
Oh man, it's a story for another time.
All right. Well, let's close things out here. We'll be live again for the midweek mailbag, probably Tuesday. Oh, he's open. No. Damn it. First bite. We don't have a guest yet. I have to figure out if I have any Texans friends. All these AFC games are tough because we never talk to them. But anyways.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the subs. Thank you for all the fun, the support. Lines are 7-1. This is really freaking fun. Let's not lose sight of that.
Dude,
and
crazy.
we'll see you guys again sometime soon.